centricity for the day. Thank you all for your overwhelming response in the couple of sessions that we had in the last whole month. And it is my pleasure to give a session on customer centricity again. I hope everybody is doing fine. And thank you all for the responses that you have given us in these days with these beautiful sessions that we had. And good morning, everybody. So let's just start with the session first. So I've seen beautiful people coming up and wishing me good morning at the start. So we'll be talking today on customer centricity. Yeah. So customer centricity, how are we aligned with our customer? What is customer satisfaction? What are the tools that we use for measurement of customer satisfaction? What are the methods and the crucial skills that are required for being customer-centric organization? So what are the ways that we cultivate to being a customer-centric organization, and what are the tips? So we'll be talking in detail about all of this. So thank you all for joining, firstly, and thank you Safe Express and Safe Jobs. So as we start with the first thing, as customer centric organizations is what we call every in the market we say that we are customer centric. So from starting with, as an example, have you all we all get our pays at first week of the month, right? So when we receive a message on our mobile phones where we say that yes, you have been credited with X amount, how happy do we feel? We feel very happy, right? It's a simple feature, but regardless, it brings a smile to even my face, even your face, even everybody's face, right? So that's a very meaningful day for every employee, right? So when such thing happens, it makes us happy. It makes the employers happy. It makes the employees happy, right? This is by going an extra mile, a core value to their brand that they what they add, and they bring and build experiences that please with time and again, right? So this is how we understand the importance of customer centricity. So accordingly, we've got two types of customers: internal customers and external customers. So internal customers in an organization are those which are basically our stakeholders. The our IT team, for example, our HR team, our maybe housekeeping staff, internal employees, internal teams, all of which are what we call as internal stakeholders, right, or internal customers. And then there are external customers. So external customers are basically those customers who are using our services, right? So these customers are using our services, our products, and in exchange of a significant amount that they pay, right? So these are our internal and external customers. So while our organization keeps us happy by the credit that we get or the appreciations that we get in the tenure span that we are working, and that's how we become customer centric with our internal stakeholders. The same as the case with our external customers, where we make them happy and we bring a smile on their face by delivering them the best in the best possible manner. So that's where we go with the external customers, right? So as a leader, how do you build and maintain an organization that not only emphasizes customer service but fosters a customer oriented outlook in every day and in every possible manner, right? This is by building customer centricity into the DNA of our business, right? So now we'll come to the word customer centric. So customer centric is basically, customer centricity is a way of doing business that fosters a positive customer experience in every stage of the customer journey with the organization, right? So it builds more customer loyalty and satisfaction, which leads to referrals for more customers, right? From A to B, B to C, and C to D. Anytime a customer centric business makes a decision, it's deeply considered the effect of the outcome that it will have on the customers, right? So, in today's digital world, it is very important to have a customer centric organization, right? Where new technologies that come up and have allowed the companies to roll out like changes very quickly. For example, in this case of lockdown, in a month and a half, how much have we evolved in terms of our digital transformation, right? This also seeks an expectation from the customer for a greater customer attention as well. That may be digitally or it may be physically, right? So, why customer centricity is important? So, there are a whole host of reasons why customer centricity is important that motivates entrepreneurs to create new enterprises. Passion, maybe money, glory, independence, there are many. But regardless of all the motivation that we have behind the establishment of a company, there's one thing that is common in all enterprises, right? If you don't acquire or retain your customers, you won't survive, right? A customer is a root. He brings us revenue, right? It is our duty to serve the customer on a best possible manner, right? So, in a small statement, we can derive the importance of being a customer centric as an entity, right? Where an organization that forgets about its customers is destined to fall. If you forget your customers, you're destined to fall, right? So they'll build wrong products or maybe invest in wrong resources or lose the goodwill of the customer, right? And with if a customer centric brand, that will be the opposite case altogether, where every team member or every business development manager, if we go through, with listening to the customer, is aligned on one goal, that is the customer's goal and the company's goal. This is how in turn the company will build the products that will meet the customer needs, anticipate what the customer wants, and will provide a level of service that keeps the customer going through the door and advocating for the brand. Advocating for the brand means endorsing for the brand, right? So this is how we create customer centric culture. So to create that customer centric culture, we have to do certain marketing strategies. We have to think about it, how to create it. So how are we making ourselves as customer centric? As Safe Express, who is in the market for more than 20 years, we've made ourselves and established ourselves as a customer centric organizations where we take care of the needs of our customer. So customer centric marketing is what I'll talk first. Customer centric marketing makes the customer a part of company's marketing message, right? So there are certain strategies that a company makes, such as customer advocacy or making the delivery more helpful for them, or providing the customer with relevant content that it requires depending on the area or the industry that we are functioning, right? So all of this comes into the customer to promote us as a customer centric organization that will generate further new customers, as in terms of coming up with new referrals from the existing customers, or what we call in a layman's language, word of mouth. I did something very good, I delivered beautifully, I was on time, I did my part well, so my customer will endorse me to his to 10 more people or maybe 50 more people. So that is word of mouth, right? This will not stop your marketing efforts either. right? Your sales team that that is basically fixed with the organization or working for the organization will create more customer focused strategies to increase the customers in their band, right? Next, there is a term called as customer centric selling. Customer centric selling is also a very important word, where the organizations or the companies tailor their prospects with the needs and desires instead of companies sales strategies, right? So the needs and desires of the customer and the markets will basically be implemented on the strategies of the organization, and they'll start building certain customer centric prospects for them, right? This is by reacting to the incoming respects and the requests from the prospects, customer centric sales, plus the helpful feedbacks that we get from our customers. That may come as a written feedback, a telephonic feedback, an email feedback, or feedbacks from social media. These days, social media play a very important role in terms of feedback and grooming our customers, right? So, how are we becoming customer centric organization? Right, there'll be certain points I'll be discussing it in brief, right? Anticipating the customer need is number one, right? So there's a very beautiful saying from Henry Ford: if I had asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses, right? So this is saying that if he had only listened to what the customers thought, he would have produced a car. So Ford is a motor company which produces cars, right? So he was thinking light years ahead of his time. He was thinking light years ahead of his competition. For that reason, he created a product that anticipated the market's future needs, right? So he knew what the customers wanted, and before anybody else could do it, he did it, and that was a game changing business move for him, right? So we can see similar styles of future forecasting in other companies such as Apple, as you have all known, or the latest is Apple and Tesla. Tesla makes cars, electric cars. So Elon Musk basically thought about electric mobility solutions way beyond when people were using internal combustion engines. So, to the point when this transformation came in, he came up with Tesla Model X. Tesla Model X is an electric car, which right now the company which has a evaluation of more than $48 billion. And same for Apple, which brought iPhone, iPad, iMac, right? Which has valuations of more than $1.08 trillion, right? So by this, we learn that we rely on customers need and need of the market, and we should be aware about it and try to know more about the needs well way beyond to create better strategies so that we can have a game changing move in our business, right? Second, customer feedback. Our customer feedback is very important, right? It may seem very obvious, right, for us as a great customer centric company to communicate both frequently as well as regularly with our customers, right? So how do we take our feedbacks? We chat with the customer, we email the customer, we can talk through SMS, we can do a phone call, we have in app messages, right? We have Facebook Messenger, we have message boards. So there are many other channels that we can use for keeping the feedback with the customer, right? Third, we conduct surveys, right? We also use user testing methods, right? Such as the digital marketing tools that we use, which provide us with the framework how to collect the feedbacks of the customer in real time. Direct calls is our most important tool, where We directly call the customer and have a word with him, make a connection with him, have a frequency of calls with our customers, get to know him, get to know his pain points, get to know what's happening, how is he processing with his business, and what are the ways he can increase his revenue, thereby giving us the revenue and more business, right? Number three, we should be very easily accessible to our customer, right? He shouldn't be hesitant enough to give us a call, or for example a BDM who is dealing with a client, ex client. So he shouldn't be hesitant to give a call to the customer, that by thinking that there'll be a problem if he calls, or maybe some issues. He will directly give a call, have some time, spending a bit of time in terms of talking, and then just asking about the whereabouts of a customer also makes a big impact, right? So a lot of people may find it strange to give unnecessary calls, but it is not unnecessary. You should be available 24/7, and the customer should have equal respect for you in terms of calling you again and again for ABC reason. Number four, meet the customer in person. So, face to face talks create a very good impact on the customer. So, more or less you meet frequently with your clients, right? The better you build relation with them, and the better you build a bond with them and loyalty for the customer, right? Direct human contact will always happen because it's a necessary part of commerce. If you, for example, if you want an item, you will go to a store, you will talk, and then you'll buy the item, right? And that also increases and improves the customer experience as well. Number five, provide proactive customer service. Right? You should go above and beyond in terms of providing customer service in our line. So in our industry, where a lot of money is involved in terms, and the customer hands his consignments to us as an asset, and we proclaim us to be the to safeguard and to keep their inventory safe, which is in our hands, right? We are the custodians, and where we need to basically have that trust in the customer, right? So we need to go above and beyond in terms of providing a customer service as well. So we need to be proactive. So there we need to have a one-on-one talks with the customer. If there is an issue, we need to avoid the waiting times and hold our customer service team. If there is an issue, if there is a refund delay, or maybe if there is a consignment time delay, we need to update the customer and tell him and make it relation that yeah, this is an issue. If there is a damage in the consignment, we have a team specially which is handling it, and there is a certain turnaround time, or tat, that we call, where we basically revert back to the customer and let him know that his things are very safe, right? Number six is adopting to customer service tools, right? Number seven is looking beyond the purchase. It is just not the business goal to get the customer to purchase your product or your service, right? However, our customer, when once buys the product, we want to ensure that he will buy or our services again, right? So this shows that how it costs five times more to attain a new customer than to retain one, right? So we always need to think about that. It's not just the service that our customer will use, that will be a one time service. We need to make sure that the customer returns back to us again and again, again and again, and be associated with us for a longer period of time, so that we build that loyalty with our services, right? So this was one ways to become customer centric, right? Now we need skills to be customer centric, right? So there are certain skills where quite often we hear about every organization being customer centric. As a small example, the company Amazon, where if there is a problem with the issue in delivery, right? So there are people who directly write it to Jeff Bezos, at the rate Jeff Bezos, on Twitter or on social media, where they'll directly pinpoint the owner that this was not delivered to me. There are many people, thousands of people who do it. right? And when the problem is very highly important, Jeff Bezos, what he does is he reverts back to them, right? That's a very important way of being into customer. So that's like being proactive, right? So there are skills. First skill says empathy. Team embark on the customer discovery, right? I always think about that, why sympathy but empathy, right? So sympathy to our customers will validate when we can feel for and apply it for the customers, right? Unlike sympathy, empathy will always go beyond the shared perspective of emotions that are combined plus the will to solve their problems, right? So to be customer centric, people don't always have to just be emotionally attached with it, but to be truly empathetic and obsessed with their customers, right? So they have to go an extra mile out of their comfort zone in terms of solving the problem of the customer or pitching it to their leaders or influencing the customer or anything else that needs to be done, right? So second, you should have a love for your problem. If you might heard, if there is a problem, you should have that love for it. That's how you will feel the same in terms of why there is a problem and why was the problem, why I need to do it, and how can I change it. So that will be more doing, and doing is more fun than thinking, right? If you're just thinking how it was done and what happened, that doesn't. You are doing it. It will be more of the thinking part, right? Moving the problem to an opportunity lens. So there are problems and there are pain points, right? So both of it, when it's combined, it's called as an opportunity, right? People who look for opportunities to wow their customers by offering them solutions, right, that they could have never imagined for, it's very critical, right? This comes when the people move from problem to opportunity on an innovation spectrum, right, where we can talk with the customer life points, not the pain points. Humility inspiring collaboration. So if you work as a team in terms of collaborative efforts for the customer, it will create a better power in the team that we have and will strengthen different perspectives. They'll work with the rest of the team together to come up with great solutions. If you just go with by yourself as going alone, there'll be many things that you miss out. But if you go as a team to solve a customer's issue or a problem, that creates wonders. That will help them gather more feedbacks as well. Growing the mindset. So, right, you have to be on top in terms of technology, you have to be on top in terms of willing to learn and to search yourself in terms of being a human centric organization. All of this comes in as new learning, new insights or product development, etc., etc., right? So these are a few crucial skills that are required to being a customer centric organizations. Now, how do we measure the methods that we use for measuring our customer satisfaction? So if our customer is happy, so we have a satisfied customer with us who will be with us for a longer duration, longevity, and will be loyal to us, same as we being loyal to our customer. So there are proven methods that basically analyze the customer satisfaction, right? We say that it's a study that 90% of the unhappy customers for any organization never come back again and buy, right? If you don't like a burger at McDonald's, or if you get something wrong in your food, you will never buy that food from that restaurant, right? The same happens for the industry as well. If there are service providers and you're not unhappy with those service providers, or there was some issue with the service that they gave, you never come back, never ever. So, right, so there are certain methods. Number one method is customer satisfaction survey, right? So customer satisfaction surveys, they are can be in the form of apps that we are using, they can be in the form of post service, or they can be an email survey. This is number one. In-app surveys where we go with the net promoter score is what we say, which I'll come in another minute, right? So there are pre-service surveys, there are mid-service surveys where you are serving in and you take in the account as what a customer is facing and how is he going through, and there are post-service after you deliver your services to the customer. There are surveys that you take. as a feedback from the customer, where you want to know that how did he feel while using our services, right? So number four is email service. Emails is you send an email to a customer as a feedback email, that how did you feel about you using services of Safe Express or Safe Educate or Safe Jobs. So you send an email, or there are certain tools such as SurveyMonkey, where you go send an online survey and it comes up to you as a reply back from the customer. For example, in case of Corona today, we are using the Arogya Setu, where it was asked, it was also a survey where it was asked by us that are you facing cold or not, is yes or no, and then you submit it. That was also a data or a feedback that's being collected from everybody these days, right? There's a CSAT score, or customer satisfaction score. So CSAT score may be ranging from 1 to 3, 1 to 5, 1 to 10, right? A larger scale is always better because of the cultural differences, that how people rate their satisfaction part, right? So this showed the individualistic countries that were more extreme sides of frequency in terms of using the collectible resources and feedbacks, right? So every time when you must have an example saying decathlon, when you buy from Decathlon, or you always have a screen in front of you where you have three faces: a red face for sad, a green face for happy, a very happy yellow face for very happy. So you click on it and you give a feedback, right? Most important, number three, net promoter score, NPS. Net promoter score is basically a feedback which measures the likeliness of a customer referring you to someone, and it's probably the most popular way of measuring customer loyalty, right? This NPS will be in the form of 1 to 10, where you'll the customer is asked that whether he'll be recommending the service to recommending us for some other customer as well. It will be in the terms of rating from 1 to 10, 0 to 10, I'm sorry. So 0 is not likely that he's going to recommend us to anybody else. 10 will be very likely that he's going to recommend, and from 0 to 6, it's a sad state. More than 6, that is 7 and 8, will be okayish, and we expect it always to be 10, not even 9, right? So that is NPS. So the strength of our NPS is what it comes as in form of satisfaction, but also the intention of referring it, that is word of mouth, that cuts down the question, where we get to know the quality of our product, that our product is good or not, and put our reputation on the line, right? Number four is customer effort score, or CES score. So CES score is also the same as NPS, but here customers aren't asked for their satisfaction or likeliness of referring, but for the effort that took them to have the issue resolved, right? So there was a problem where our technical team resolved it in a very fast manner and a very smooth manner, and or for example, there was a refund which the customer was having an issue with, and it was initiated in lightning speed. So that's where it was the effort that was given by the organization to the customer. So that will be accumulated in the form of customer effort score, right? So CES is customer effort score in this case. So right, so it's also measurable from 1 to 7. So 7 will be the very high effort that was put into for the customer, and 1 will be the very low effort, right? So that's how, in terms of a scale of 1 to 7. So NPS will be in the scale of 1 to 10, right? Next, there is social media monitoring. So social media monitoring is through Facebook page or comments on Facebook as well. So that has an immense impact on the relationship between the business of a customer, where good or great or poor service experience would be shared with their family, their friends, or on social media, which is an outlet to reach potentially millions of people, right? So because of that, there are perfect place where you hear about customers and really think about it, right? So Facebook, Twitter are more relevant platforms to track, and also there are Quora or TripAdvisor or Yelp and all of it. So these are portals where customer write the feed. Mostly Twitter, if a customer tweets beautifully about an organization, that goes way beyond, then it reaches millions, right? Google alerts, mentions, social mentions, all of this, all of this cumulatively come up to as customer centricity and customer centric organization, right? So I think my time is done. I wanted more to share more about it, but sadly we couldn't. But still, thank you so much. So I'll just go quickly with one question in that is coming up as how, from Ajit Awa Mukherjee, as how would organization overcome price war in competition if it is customer centric? Loyalty is one important thing, and it's the relation that you build with the customer. There's always a beautiful customer who listens to you. You got to listen to your customer needs, and the customer will obviously oblige with the needs of the organization as well. So with this, let's end the session for the day. Thank you everybody for being with me on this session, and please, if there is any queries, please feel free to comment us on Safe Jobs Facebook portal, and please like and share the video for future references. And for any other queries, Safe Jobs, please mention it on Safe Jobs. We'll be more than happy to revert each and every one of you on time. Thank you so much for your time today. Have a beautiful day. It's the start of the month of May. Thank you. 2 days more to lockdown. Thank you so much. Have a nice day, everybody. Bye bye.